Good morning to all. Basically, in this project, which we did in this data science for this course, we are going to predict the probability status of poverty of individuals across various parts of India. The data is on the poverty index. It is basically based on that index. That index is basically used in for the prediction of probability of an individual to be under the poverty line using various characteristics such as income, something like household assets they hold, and many financial factors. For that analysis, we uses various Python libraries such as Pandas, Seaborn, and Matplotlib, and we read the data through that, which we determine on which kind of are the person is urban or not, age factor, the relationship factor, education level factor, literacy level factors, and so on and so forth. And for the proper analysis of data, we basically need to drop the variables and values which have null rate, so that we should get a proper analysis, so that in the next line we basically drop the variables. And after that, some there are sometimes which have variables as such as boolean, so that we converted it into integer also. And after that, we for defining various age groups, we created an age group list, and we basically bin them in that particular product, such as lower than 30, 30 to 40, 30 to 44, 45 to 60, greater than 60, and so on and so forth. After that, we plotted the graph, and we determined the number of individuals in rural and urban areas, and which determines about the ratios, and we through that we can determine that the people mostly live in urban areas as compared to rural areas, as people tend to move out for various opportunities. Now, now we are determining the difference between male and female, which are more likely, those guys which are more likely to be under poverty. In this case, in the city scenario, we should see that that ratio is not that quite much, as that both kind of are something lot similar, but in the in the rural areas, the difference arises, and differences in starting and contrast is compared from the urban areas. And uh, and now that we determine the literacy, as you can see that in the urban areas people are more literate as compared to rural areas, and through that we should determine that how kind of literacy is impactable for the poverty rate. As you can see as you can see that it seems that literacy is not likely to be proportional, but in the large case, and in the large case of factors, except some kind of cases, literacy is some kind of responsible for some kind of poverty. And we should determine now we should fix an informal savings, formal savings, like that people who got some pf or something, and in the informal savings, which some ladies or people used to keep something as money for various kind of needs. You can see at the example of demonetizing that informal savings, it is similar to that. And now we should see the category of employment in the sectors which is more likely to be under poverty. So you can see that it determines that the unemployed people are most likely to be in the poverty section, and disabled people are some kind also in the poverty section. Employed people, some you can say, but in most likely sector they are not in the poverty line or sectors. And other various people such as housewife or student, they are in the mixed sort of they are mixed sort of scam actually. Like some people are some people are have less money, some have not. And it here determines what kind of education level and what kind of determines, like higher education seems more likely, very more likely to have a low poverty levels, high non poverty levels. And as you can steep down, you can see that the people who have low education level are mostly poor, and people who have higher education level are most, some rich, some exceptions are there as always. Yeah, and here it determines that how much kind of loan or something like people borrowed for various kind of things such as emergency, or or for for daily expenses such as loan or something, and various kind of home loans or etc. Here we should determine that if you got through an if we got through urban areas, the people who borrow some kind of more amount is in the basically in the poorer section, as compared in the rural area. This kind of borrowment is some kind of low. It's basically in the same ratio. Now basically we determine the relationship between age and poverty. As you can see that, uh, as you can uh, as you can see that in the 30 years of 30 years and less than 30 years of group, it's in a mixed bag. And most likely the most unemployed people are is in that sector only. And this kind of steep slow, and more, and after that, then the 60 age of group, they have lesser poverty level. And here you can see the impact on of age on poverty. Here you can see various ages. Now we should determine the relationship between financial activities and poverty probability. Here you can see various kind of various kinds of pair plots provided here. And now we should see about the correlation heat map in the next. Yeah, you can see here it determines that age, poverty probability through that, and have a correlation matrix. Here you can see that what kind of past financial activities people did, and their particular probability of poverty and their correlation matrix as provided below. Here we should conclude that the answer various answer that like urban individuals are most likely present than rural individuals as compared to better accommodation, and people have more resources for various kind of activities. Uh, Urban for individuals who are not literate are most likely to win the poorer section as compared to people who are more literate. Like urban people which have resources are not most not likely to win the poorer sections. Individuals who are employed have employment are most likely to be not on the in the sections. And uh, and those and those which have self employment are in the mixed bag of poverty line and non-poverty line. Rural households have more kind of savings as compare have informal savings, as urban household have more formal savings. Among those who save education level, which have 1.0 2.0, are most likely to have more savings as compared to others. Thank you. Thank you. And here